Santa, I know that I've been very good and I deserve the very best gift, but I have a loving and wonderful family. So the only thing I wish for Christmas is that all boys and girls are with their wonderful and loving family, that they are supposed to be with Christmas morning, day, and night. Thank you very much. Happy holidays, Jacob.
Greetings, welcome back. Got some more court document. Pretty unbelievable to me. So, Allan, whose case we have been following, they wrote up the bogus motion and the bogus order. I already made a video about it. I will link it up here somewhere. Anyways, Allan goes in for court on October 18th, on November 1st, on November 15th, and then on December 6th, Emily Callan issues a direct criminal contempt summary proceedings, findings, and order, and an order for his arrest. You can see right there, certified, true copy from the clerk's office. So let's see what he did in a order that had absolutely no elements of law, appeared pretty fraudulent, and then lo and behold, after over 2 weeks of not being able to get a certified file of the record from the clerk's office, when we're able to get a certified file, certified documents from that file, now there's a verification page to make the motion verified. But if it's sworn to under oath or affirmation, it's absolutely perjury, because there is no way you can have firsthand knowledge, because there's no facts to have firsthand knowledge of in that motion. Just allegations by very definition. Alright, so what is this order for arrest for? The court finds beyond a reasonable doubt, Emily Callan finds beyond a reasonable doubt, that during the proceeding, the above contemptor willfully behaved in a contemptuous manner, and that the above named contemptor did, the defendant, the contemptor, has failed to appear to on the court's October 14, 2021 show cause order, which required the defendant appear and show cause, if any, why he has not complied with the court order filed on or about February 5, 2021. Here's the problem with that. He showed up 4 times. He showed up 4 times. And 2 of those times he waited all day. He even required them to prosecute him. He said, hey, you better prosecute me now. He fulfilled the order. This just shows you how much they just make stuff up. Okay, it goes on to say, the undersigned gave a clear warning that the contemptor's conduct was improper. In addition, the contemptor was given summary notice of the charges and summary opportunity to respond. How? He's not even in the courtroom. How is he having contemptuous behavior when he's not even in the courtroom? And how are you telling him what his contemptuous behavior is and how he's supposed to respond when he's not in the courtroom for you to communicate with? The contemptor's conduct interrupted the proceedings of the court and impaired the respect due its authority. Therefore, it is adjudged that the above named contemptor is in contempt of court. It is ordered that the contemptor be censured for contempt. And on the order for arrest, it's saying that if he pays an extortion fee of $500, they'll let him out. Now, that was pretty bad. That was so far out of bounds, I just don't even know what to think about it. And it was apparently so far out of bounds that the courthouse knew it was that far out of bounds, because Now the file is just gone. You can't find that paperwork down there, which is, felonious interfering with public documentation in one way or another. Just like somehow that verification page just magically appeared. And in the video that I did before about what was going on, and you could prove the fraud because of the timestamps on the two documents. They were never served. Allan still wishes to question the police officer who actually served the documents, but from my understanding, now their story is that the documents were never served, so that's why they got rid of the order. Well, if you knew that the whole time, then why did you write the order in the first place? So when they got rid of the order, we were like, oh, yay. Cool. They're probably not going to try any other shenanigans until the new year. This year is basically done for, because there's pretty much no more time to have court this year. And then what happens? Presumably on the advice of her attorney, Katie, which is soon to be Allan's ex-wife, takes the children and will not allow him to see them over Christmas. During his time, they're supposed to spend with his family, and they had a holiday party all ready to get together. So this Christmas, while you're celebrating with your loved ones, just remember that your state courts are keeping a family apart for Christmas. And they're giving the children to the parent who is most likely doing not very good parental things. And this seems to happen again and again. Angela Freiner, Philip Kemp, Sierra, Mimi, New York, Kansas, Tennessee, North Carolina. You see a pattern here? And these things happen in such obvious ways that it's like it's designed to do the wrong thing. The system is literally designed to help the wrongdoers and to call bad good and good evil. And people just allow it to go on. They just allow it to go on. So this time, I'm not going to ask you to call the Supreme Court and ask them when they're going to get law back. It's pretty apparent that they don't care. But the number is going to be up here somewhere anyways. I'm not going to tell you to call down to the Henderson County Courthouse and ask them what they're doing, why all of this is going on, because it's very obvious that they have to have the cooperation of the clerk and multiple judicial officers to deny Allan a court of law and not allow him to verify anything and open up a court and put his testimony on the record of Katie's illegal activities. There's no point. There's no point in calling the sheriff's office and asking, did they actually serve that? Who served it? They're supposed to have a record of it somewhere. There's no point in writing a judicial complaint. I'm not going to ask you to do it because it's very, very obvious that the other side doesn't care. You're never going to get law back from them. And the way that you know what they're doing is lawless is because it does not even follow their own rules and procedures, the things that they have made up for themselves on the way to proceed. And, when an enterprise, legitimate or illegitimate, carries on a business of extortion or coercion or blackmail or fraud, they call that enterprise a racketeering enterprise, and it's illegal. This is how they brought down the mafia. It's called RICO charges in a codified statutory form. And that's when multiple people get together and extort you or fraud you out of things. And if you look at what has happened at just the Henderson County Courthouse, with Greg Newman being removed, they let a rapist walk. They haven't prosecuted numerous criminal complaints, numerous criminal activity that people have verified for them all across the county. Look at what they did with Baba, now with Allan. And remember what Katie is doing to Allan by withholding the children and taking them away from him during his parental time. That's what Philip Kemp got arrested when it was actually his parental time. In Tennessee, they called it custodial interference. In North Carolina, they call it parental kidnapping. You see, it only works one way, because Allan can't go and tell the courthouse that Katie is committing parental kidnapping, because they just don't care. They just don't care. And this is the thing, is that if you wish for the law to be there for you, you have to make sure that it's at the courthouse to begin with. And if it's not there for other people, you can rest assured it will not be there for you. You can be assured of that fact. Anyways, 2022, happy holidays, happy New Year's, everybody. I don't know if I'm going to make anything before the New Year's, but 2022, here's my prediction. This is either going to be the last year of freedom for most people in society, the way they see it, or for people like me and see the way that I see it. It could be the last year of slavery, but it all depends on what the society does, on what people choose to do, on what people choose to focus on. But think about it this way. I maintain and affirm that most of society's ills comes from the fact that we don't have a court of law. If you just think about what happened to George Floyd, everybody's like, oh, all these peaceful protesters ruined all the cities across America. See, I don't quite see it that way. I see it as the fact that we don't have any courts of law that ruined all of the cities across America. Because if George Floyd's family could have just walked into a courthouse and sworn out a warrant for Derek Chauvin, my guess is that the entire country wouldn't have freaked out, flipped out, and started peacefully protesting everywhere. And then, when people get caught in the middle of their peaceful protest, it would probably help a lot if the charges didn't always get dropped by the district attorney. Anyways, that's just my 2 cents. Take it for what it's worth. What? Sure.
Let's just let you know that dinner's ready. Oh, and while I'm here, don't forget to like, subscribe, click that bell to never miss another video, and share the video because YouTube algorithms won't. Your only hope.
You're our only hope. What we do? One world love and peace.
One more question. When the DSS investigation started last year in June, Did you not withhold the children from me on Father's Day weekend when they had a forensic exam scheduled on Monday that I could have done on Friday?
Under my attorney's recommendation and advice, I did not feel that it was in either Lucas or Sarah's best interest, nor my own as the accused party, for the children to be in more custody throughout the weekend prior to their forensic exam that they could be.
In their day, this involved the forms of action known as the ancient proprietary and possessory real actions. In a latter or more modern day, a discussion of debt, covenant, account, or sumsit is necessarily a discussion of the development of the law of contracts. That of trespass and case is a discussion of the law of torts. That of detinue, repelvent, ejectment, and trover is usually a discussion of property. In short, a history of the forms of action, both ancient and modern, would fall little short of a complete history of the common law. Had the authority of the clerks and chancellery been less restricted in their practice of issuing new writs, and had the judges been more liberal in extending the remedial scope of the various forms of action, and particularly the great residuary remedy of the common law, the action of trespass on the case, their remedies might have effectually answered many of the purposes of the Court of Equity, and thus made its creation unnecessary. The law was required to express itself through the limited system of writs and forms of action sanctioned by precedent, and little discretion was left to the judge. This comes out of Common Law Pleadings, Joseph Koffler. It's one of my books from my personal library. And the performance that you just watched is probably not one of my best of this year. And it's because I'm really disturbed. I'm really disturbed that the courts have gotten this bad. Where people, they can't go into court and swear out an action in law anymore. The only thing they can do is ask for the court's permission to be able to hold an action in the first place. And all I've seen in this past year is that when people have real verifiable claims, like Sierra, like Philip Kemp, like Allan, they can't verify them in an open court. They can't file their actions. They don't have access to law. And if you don't have access to law, you're not free. You are not free. And everybody looks at what's going on in our society. Everybody's concerned about it. And for the most part, people don't really know what to do. I got a pretty good plan. You see, because if you start holding the court and court actors accountable, they'll hold police accountable. And if you start holding the court and court actors accountable, they'll hold the politicians accountable. And if you hold the politicians accountable, then they're going to hold corporations accountable. It's kind of the natural order of things. It's the natural law. It's the natural way. But we as society, we gotta come together. We have to do this because the government will not do it for us. It's not in their interest. They don't care. They don't care. And I don't know how else to show people this. If you go back through this history of this channel, just for the past year, look at what we've accomplished. We have gotten a district attorney out of office, removed from office. We have gotten a judicial officer to change his order, not once, not twice, but 3 times because of the pressure that we put on the courts for Philip Kemp. And we got him out a day early so that he could spend time on the 4th of July with his children. It was probably because of how much attention we brought to Angela Freiner's case that they let her out of jail on a PR bond. which they're threatening to take away from her. But look at these things that we accomplished, and we accomplished it with relatively few people. And now we have the attention of some people up in Hendersonville. And y'all have the best opportunity to save this country, in my mind, that I think might exist. Because y'all actually have the opportunity to hold a government official liable for the criminal acts that they have committed. And to go back and make sure that justice is done for Valerie Owenby and her family. And if we could do this just one time, then it would prove to the rest of the country that we still have rights and that government officers can still be held accountable when they break the law. In my mind, that would spread like wildfire. But it's up to us. It's up to us to come together and to do it and to make sure that true law, the law of right and wrong, the law of the creator of this world and the next, gets upheld for us while we're here living in this world. And this is the only way I see that we're going to bring heaven down to earth for our offspring and their posterity. It's the only thing I can see. It's the only thing I believe might work. It's not that I don't think people should do something like write judicial complaints or write bar complaints. I do believe that people should do it if it's on their heart. Because the more that we let the courthouse know that we're watching them, the better they're going to act. Look at the trials that they're putting on TV right now. They're acting pretty lawfully in almost all of those trials. You want to know why? Because they got a bunch of cameras on them and everybody's watching. But when people aren't watching, when they don't have cameras on them, when nobody's really reporting on this stuff, they issue arrest orders for people like Allan, who show up numerous times, try the best they can to present themselves lawfully without any controversy, and show that there is no controversy except for the controversy being made up by the adversarial attorney who is practicing vexatious litigation. If you wish to have rights for yourself in the future, then you wish to uphold rights of other people whose rights are being violated right now. Even with all of these great things that we did this year, let's go back and kind of look at some downfalls. Sierra didn't have her children's back for Valentine's Day. Philip Kemp, we didn't get him out of jail for Father's Day to spend with his children. He got arrested for taking his children camping on Memorial Day, and we couldn't get him out for Father's Day. When he took his children camping, it was his parenting time. And now look at what's going on with Allan. He will not have his children for Christmas because there's not enough of a public outcry about it. People aren't saying, why is the courthouse not following the law? What are they doing down there? Allan works for FedEx. There is a very, very good chance and very good possibility that he has brought you a lot of the gifts that have been shipped your way for Christmas. That he has brought gifts across the country, or helped bring them, that are going to be under your Christmas tree for your children to enjoy. And at the same time, he will not be able to enjoy his children on Christmas Day. Because the courts are just trying to punish him because he believes in something called freedom. And even though I know that it looks really, really bad, and it seems like there's no hope, here's the good news, is that by next year we could turn it all around. We could turn it all around. The only thing is, we're going to have to put aside our petty differences and work together for the common goal of restoring rights. And when you're working for the common goal of restoring rights, you can't be advocating taking people's rights away because you don't agree with them. Because when you advocate for taking another group's rights away, you're basically advocating to have your own rights taken away from you when that other group comes into political power. And I've heard people talk about creating a third political party. And in my mind, this would be an awful idea. This is exactly what created Nazi Germany. They created a third political party, the Nazi Party, and when that party got over a third of the political will in the German parliament, they put in Adolf Hitler as the chancellor, they got rid of the Communist Party, and they basically took over the entire government. In my mind, what we gotta create is we gotta create a political movement. We gotta get the courthouses acting properly, and then we have to get politicians into legally binding contracts as to what they're going to do when they're elected, and not vote for them if they're not willing to sign contracts like that. That's just one idea. But that idea will not be effective and will not work if we don't get the courthouses working. Anyways, right now you can tell it's nighttime. Thought it was kind of fitting. This video is somewhat dark because it's a tragedy what's happening to Allan and his family right now. And it's raining back there. Kind of depressing. But it doesn't have to stay that way. The 3 darkest days of the year are December 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. On the 25th, the sun starts coming back up again. And I believe that we should all vow that next year we're going to stand up for everybody's right to have a family and not have the government dictate what the family has to do and when. And if you can get down with that idea, please join us. We're going to be creating a website, and we're going to putting teachings on there and seminars where people can actually learn the law. Because if we don't learn the law, then we're not going to understand when the state is breaking it. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope everybody watching this has a very good and blessed holiday and holiday season. And Allan, when I was working with Philip Kemp, I couldn't believe it. I was amazed. But he said, let's pray for Don Ash's soul. And Don Ash, in my mind, did the right thing, and he let me walk out of that courthouse. So myself, and I implore everybody who's watching this, to pray for the souls of the judiciary in North Carolina. And hopefully, God will lighten their heart like he did to Pharaoh, and they'll do the right thing moving forward. Thank you.
You know, I did mention it to him. He told me the same thing basically that I told you. Was I'm not saying you don't have a valid case. I'm just saying you can't actually do anything in this sector. So, best of luck. I appreciate it. You good? You ain't good.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you for joining us all this year. It's been a pretty long year. Hopefully, next year will be better. Next year could always be better. Anyways, who are we?
We are Just Conspiracy, and we like to just conspire
To bring heaven down
to bring heaven down to earth.
to earth. And what should people do if they're still watching?
Like, subscribe, click that bell to never miss another video, and share the video because YouTube algorithms won't. Your only hope.
You're our only hope. And one more thing that they should do.
Happy holidays!
Happy holidays and Merry Christmas from our family to yours. One
One world,
love, and peace.